Good afternoon. It's Paul in the Vineyard again. And what I'm going to talk about today is how do you maintain and renovate an old vineyard? This vineyard is almost 30 years old. So I'm going to use a technique that's called bud grafting. And I'm going to take pieces of canes from a healthy vine and show you how we renovate an old vineyard. So the first thing we've done is you'll notice if you look around me, everything's pretty much pruned up. These vines are all pruned. But before that happens, we go out in the vineyard and we try to find a nice healthy section of vines so that we can get some cuttings off of it, for example, and then we will use these cuttings when we go over there to work on this other vine. So I'm going to select a couple, and then this doesn't hurt this vine. This vine still has what it's got. So I'm going to select these, and maybe one more right here, probably this one. So here we are just a few rows over, and this vine is 28 years old. And so we're already starting to notice that there is some disease that's on this vine. So the crews, the vine will instinctively put out what we call a rootstock sucker. So here's the original graft on this Cabernet vine. And so this is a rootstock called 5C. And then so this is from the roots. This is not from, so this is from the roots. So we tie this up and we let it grow, because if it's just really dinky like this right here, there's the same thing right there. You could not very well graft over to that, because if you did, the gophers would eat it. It's down on the ground and it's too small. So throughout the world, roots, this is the original graft union, roots are different than the tops. And the roots rarely get diseases. They're tolerant. They're designed to be in the soil. But years and years of cutting on this grapevine, which this is clone 7 Cabernet, eventually disease starts to get in here, and then it reduces the production of the grapevine. So one thing we can do is, rather than waste 28 years of roots that are way down deep in the ground, rather than go plant a brand new little plant right here, because this one's starting to get sick, one of the things that I've really worked on and perfected here at Stillwaters is a technique that's used a lot in Europe. Grow a new root alongside of the grapevine that's starting to get sick, and that way you're ready to convert it over. But what you end up with then, and I'll show you this in a completed vine, you end up with a very healthy vine, because you got 28 years of roots to then attach these Cabernet flavors to. And so this is a cutting from the Cabernet, clone 7, that we've used here forever. And then we graft it right onto there. And then this grapevine will push sap and repair this spot. And then this will become a new grapevine. Because right now, this whole cane is 5C, which is not a good bottle of wine. This is the rootstock. This is the rootstock. This is not Cabernet, even though it's growing right next to Cabernet. So I'm going to show you how we then take this, and we take that selected cutting that I had from over there, and we are going to attach it right here. And then what happens is this will then become Cabernet. So this is a special grafting tool that actually will allow me to take this position that's here and cut it like that, and it creates a little cut there, and then I could take this position and do the same thing. You notice that. And so then what that allows me to do is go in here and graft those two together just like that. And you can see it almost holds itself. So then, just to assist this plant in maintaining that, and I make this look terrible because I'm not fast at it. The crews are so fast at doing this, but they'll go in here with this tape and then seal this position a little bit better, and then that will help that vine then come in, and it'll seal that up pretty fast. And so now that will heal fairly quickly. And in fact, this bud is almost a perfect position. I just got lucky. Now, this bud is a perfect position, and so what will happen with that bud is that bud will push a new cane just like that, and then we'll lay that cane down just like that other one over there. But so now here's another spot where we can show a 28-year-old old vine that's still doing fairly well. One over here, but now if you notice in the middle, here's the old trunk where we were able to cut it off, and then now here's that new vine, and this is probably only 2 years old. They actually repair themselves that fast. And so this vine this year, even though it's smaller than these old ones, this will be as productive, if not more productive, than the vine next to it. And that's because we kept that 28 years worth of energy coming out of those roots. And so it heals up. If this vine was a new planted vine, I mean, it would be tiny. It would not be anywhere near this big. And so that's what makes this process so successful, is if the roots are healthy, it grows a new grapevine literally 3 times as fast.